Good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Who's here? Hope you got your coffee ready for this morning. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'm excited to see people waiting in the room, ready to go. Good morning. Happy Sunday morning. Just letting people file in a little bit. Let's see. All right. Good morning, Michael. Good morning, Leonardo. We got Ron. We got Mike. We got Tammy. Maisha, hey, how are you? Kirsten, welcome to the live stream. Let me just make a couple adjustments here. Jane Trader, you held up your end of the deal. You're here with Adriana. That's wonderful. One thing I want to ask real quick is if things are smooth or if they're looking choppy. Let's see, just making a couple adjustments real quick. Give me 1 second. All right, is everything looking okay? Sound good, streaming slow, choppy. Okay. I'm going to try one thing real quick. Hang tight 1 second. All right, let me make a quick adjustment here. All right, hang tight. Okay, now let's see. All right, everyone. Now, let me know. I just changed to a different Wi-Fi. Let's see if that helped things out. Hey, Ahmad. Good morning. Choppy stream. Okay. Giving it just a second to see if that helped at all. Man, we got a good turnout this morning. I'm excited to see everybody here. Let me see if I can make another adjustment real quick. All right, gonna make just a quick adjustment. Okay. All right, just made a couple of quick adjustments. Is that changing anything? Still choppy? All right, give me 1 second. Gonna make a couple quick adjustments here. Let's see if we can get this figured out. Leonardo says a little bit better. Much better now. Oh, same chop. So Ahmad looks better for you. All right. So of course this is happening. So sorry about this. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to see if I can make any final adjustments. All right. Now it's just making a couple quick. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Leonardo. I'm closing a couple things out. Is that resolving the issue? I'm hoping I'll move around a little bit. You can tell me if it's still choppy. Don't anyone go anywhere. I don't want anyone to run off. I'm going to get this fixed. We got to get this figured out. If this is better, let me know. A little better now, Ron says. Mike says better. Thank you, Leonardo. I closed another app I had up. I think we should be good. Okay, much better. Okay, wonderful. All right. Ben, welcome to the live stream. Leonardo, I want to thank everyone for showing up. Ron, Mike, Leonardo, Maisha, Ahmad, you guys are amazing. Thomas, look at all these people turning up. Welcome. Good morning. Happy Sunday to everybody. I want to just kind of briefly introduce what we're going to do today. I'm kind of excited. I've had a lot of people asking about bracket orders. And so I wanted to put something together for you guys and show some really good examples of bracket orders. And then we can kind of get into different types. I'm going to actually use the replay function in ThinkOrSwim. And I'm going to show you exactly how that works, how to place one. The first thing I'm going to do, though, real quick, I'm just going to throw up the old disclaimer for you guys. Just letting you know I'm not certified financial planner or any of those things. I'm just a guy that trades, and this is just my opinions, and so on and so forth. So there's a disclaimer. So with that being said, let's pop over. Let's look at the chart, and hopefully the stream is looking better now. Hopefully we're in a spot where things are proceeding. Oh, and I also want to tell you guys, I want to thank the community for last week's stream because you guys were amazing. And I want to let everybody know that Super Chat is available in this live stream. We talked about this last week. I'm not putting this $100 room live stream education behind a subscription. I'm going to keep it open and free for everybody. And the way that you can support the channel, if you want to, is by using Super Chat. And that's just the $ that's down at the bottom by the emoji button. You can click that. You can donate $1, $2, whatever you want to the channel. I super appreciate that. That helps keep these free, and it helps me continue to, buy equipment and hopefully improve the live streams over time. So with that being said, Super Chat's active. Let's dive into things. Connor Hale, welcome, 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 welcome. So what I thought I'd do is just show you the replay function on ThinkOrSwim, and we can get into this, and I can kind of show you what I do in the morning and how I set up my bracket orders. And then with that being in place, I'm going to let it trigger. I'm going to actually show you the ins and outs of what I see every morning, and we'll just replay a trade. So let's jump into that first, and then after that's done, let's get into questions, and we can talk strategy, we can talk trade management. Ahmad, there you go again. You're super kind. Ahmad with the super chat for $5. Thank you so much, Ahmad. I really, really appreciate that. Very, very kind. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you right here. If you want to build a bracket order, you want to come over here, and let's just start from the very beginning. You're looking at your chart on ThinkOrSwim. I've got AMD up, and I am on the 15-minute time frame right now. So what I want to show you here is if you click this active trader window right here, click that and open it, you're going to get this panel that shows up. And this panel is basically going to give you the option to create a nice bracket order. A bracket order is just an order that gets triggered. Once you enter the market, it will throw out a stop loss, and if you want, a target onto the screen so that it will trigger you out. If it goes against you, it'll take your profit if it goes in your favor. And the nice thing is you can pick exactly where you want them to go. So here's what we'll do. your screen should look like this when you come in here. You should be looking at just this kind of random setup. You can make adjustments by using the gear icon on how many buttons you want to show. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to open up the template. What I do is I go to this TRG with brackets. See, you can do 2 brackets, 3 brackets, and that would be for taking multiple levels of profit as you get a rise in your price, or if you're short, as you get a drop in your price. But let's go to TRG with bracket. So I'm going to click that. And here's what you're going to see. You're going to see this setup where you can basically pick your stop loss and your target. So I'm going to enter for the stop loss. I'm going to say I want a stop loss of 25 cents. And I want a target of, let's do 25 cents for the target. So this means I'll be stopped out in 25 cents and I'll take profit in 25 cents from wherever I enter this trade. So with that being set up, I'm going to keep this simple. I'm going to go 1,000 shares. You can see right here in the window. Now I'm looking at a short position here. So I'm looking to take this to the short side. Hang on one second, just checking one thing. Okay. So I'm looking to take this to the short side, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get short. Let's say I'm going to get short at $93, and let's call it $93.80. I want to get short. So what I would do is, now that I have this bracket here, I go to $93.80, which is right down here, so you can see where I am with my cursor. If you want to take a short position and place your bracket, you're going to click on the red side. If you want to take a long position, you're going to go here on the green side. So I'm going to click the red side. And it's going to pop up this window. And this window is sort of just telling you about buying power and what your order looks like. It's going to show you your stop loss and your target and your order to get into the position. So I'm going to flip over here to edit. This is what I always do. I bring this window open, I hit edit, and then what you've got here is basically a bracket order in a position where you can just go through and make small tweaks to it. So what I'm going to do here for my entry is I'm going to go here to this stop right there. And I'm going to change it to a stop limit order. Now, this could be a little confusing, so I'm going to go really slow here and ask questions if you have them. When you change it to stop limit, what that means is you're not going to get triggered into this trade until it hits a price that you pick. So I've picked $93.80 as where I want to be triggered. But here's the tricky thing. Because it's a limit, because it's not a market order, if the movement in the price of the stock is really, really violent, it can skip your order. So instead of having it just $93.80, the stop limit allows you to create a gap, an acceptable zone of price that you're willing to take for your entry. So right here I'm saying, trigger me in at $93.80, but if I can't get it at $93.80, I'm okay getting in at $79, $78, $77, $76, and I like to just put it down at 10 cents. So I'm just telling the broker I'm okay with getting triggered in between 80 and 70. And remember, this has to be lower because this is a short position. If it were a long position, then I would do 80 to 90 if I were trying to go long. So then from here I just say confirm and send, and there they are. So what you have on your screen right now is an entry to get short, a target to take profit, and a stop loss to trigger you out. Is everybody with me? If you're with me, just pop a yes in the chat. Ron says, I don't have the second layer, the join the bid and join the ask. It's okay. Those are just buttons I put in there. If you wanted to put those in there, you could basically just come up to this gear box or gear button and you could enter that in. Okay, you can remove these or enter these. Those are just, I just have them on there, you don't need them. Okay, Leonardo says, can you use TRG with 2 brackets to enter both short and long at the same time? That's a great question, Leonardo. The answer to that question is no. You can't go long and short with that bracket, with 2 brackets. The 2 brackets, consider that being housed inside one bubble, okay? So one order is one entity, and inside that you can create one target or a second target. So you're basically creating, it is like 2 orders inside of one order, but you can't go long and short using those. All right, so everyone seems like they're with me. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I've got this on-demand feature going. I have it paused. I'm going to press play on it, and this trade's going to play out, and we're going to see how this kind of gets triggered, okay? So I'm going to hit the play button, and remember, we're going to get triggered in at 93.80. So let's see how this goes. Yes, Leonardo, that's why I use 2 accounts to do that. Yes, exactly right. So this should drop pretty quickly. It might take a minute or 2. I tried to find a trade that would work and trigger pretty well and fairly quickly, so I don't have you guys trapped sitting here watching this, but we can keep talking and answering questions while we watch this drop and trigger in. But you'll notice when we do get triggered, the red order, this is going to go away, and we're just going to have these 2. The profit that says limit and the stop that says STP. So let's watch this and see if we get triggered in here. We're dropping down, we're about to break and get breached. Okay, so we just got triggered in, and you saw everything shift. Wherever you get triggered in, that's going to be the point where it's going to calculate your target and your stop loss. And now you can see we're green, it's pressing down. We got our stop loss in place and our target in place. Now the nice thing about this is you could now just get up and walk away. You could set this, get triggered, make sure everything looks good, then you could go off to work for the day, go walk the dog, do whatever you want, because now the orders are in place. So now you're basically just sitting and watching this to see what's going to happen. And the beautiful thing is, and the thing I've been working on with my trading is, once I have a certain amount of profit, I like to move this stop loss. So what's nice is, if you click this auto send button, it makes it really quick. But look what I can do. I can grab my stop loss and I can drag it. I can put it wherever I want and just drop it. And now it's wherever I drop it. Same with the target. I can move the target down and drop it if I want more profit. Or if I think, ooh, I don't like this, it's acting kind of weird, I could highlight it, I can drag it, and I could actually drop it below, above the price action to get out. I'm going to move my stop here so I don't get stopped out right now. So what's nice is it's super flexible. You can move things wherever you want them. And if you want, you could say, I don't want a target anymore. And you could click the X and it would delete your target. Or click the X and delete your stop loss. I don't recommend that. I always like having a hard stop in the system, but that's something that you can do. All right, while we're letting this play out, let's look in the chat here. So Leonardo says, do you ever use or advise to use the trailing stop in the order instead of just the regular stop? Leonardo, I think that's an excellent question, and I do think there's a time and a place for trailing stops. I've spoken with a few of you in the past, and even this week with a few of you about trailing stops. What I would say on that is you have to really understand the ebb and the flow of a stock. How much does it move and retrace? Because creating a trailing stop for AMD is a very different thing than creating a trailing stop for something like, say, Tesla. You know, a Tesla trailing stop might be $8. AMD, a trailing stop might be 30 cents. So you have to be a little more intimate with the stock. You have to know it a little bit better. But if you do know it and you're okay with the amount of retracement you see, yeah, you could use a trailing stop. But again, what I would advise is, and this is just my opinion, I think you should back test with that strategy, with that trailing stop. Monitoring the stock saying, does it retrace a lot? Is it coming back 50 cents? Is it coming back $1? Because you don't want to have a trailing stop that's going to give you, $25 profit, back trace 25 cents, stop you out, and then go another $3. You want to make sure that you have the appropriate trailing stop. So while I don't use trailing stops, I think there is a time and a place, and that's a great question, Leonardo. Yes, EV trades, that's exactly right. Only if you have a wider risk so that you don't get stopped out early. Exactly, because you just don't want to get in and then have the trade just wash you right out and be done. So we can see this is taking a while. This is moving around. We're about a minute away from the next candle. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how this takes profit. I'm going to move this down or up. Let's see if I can get us triggered out here. So I dropped it right there. There it is. So it hit my target. You can see what it did. It removed the stop. It removed the target. It completely punched me out at $120 profit. So that's a bracket order. Any questions? Anything you want me to go through? If you want, we could, let me open this up. Let's do 2 brackets. You guys want to do 2 brackets? Drop a yes in the chat if you want me to go through a 2 bracket scenario. A 2 bracket scenario with maybe, we could even add a trailing stop if you want. Let me know what you guys want to do. That's totally doable. There's our second candle opening up. Anybody want to do that? Let's see. John King says, how do you pick stocks to trade? Seems like you trade AMD every day. John, you're right. I trade AMD every single day. I get a lot of questions about that. I'm a super simplistic trader, and I want to keep things very clean. I don't want to introduce a lot of my bias. I don't want to introduce my emotion. I don't want to introduce my day-to-day fluctuations. I try to take myself out of the equation if I can, if that makes any sense. So I trade AMD because AMD is extremely liquid. It's liquid every single day. It moves around every single day. And I have a good feel for it. I've been trading it for quite a while. I understand kind of how much it ebbs and flows. And I've just found sort of some comfort with it. And I really like just the way in general that it behaves. So you could do this with any, you could trade any stock every day if you want, just as long as it's extremely liquid. And I also like to know that it's a real company. So I don't really like to get into penny stocks. I like that AMD is a large cap stock. It's been around a while. They're a real business. They're making money. That makes me feel a little better about it because you don't want to get caught in things like halts and weird stuff like that. So you want things to be liquid and to be real. So that's how I'd answer that. Tammy says, sure, let's get crazy. All right, we're doing the double bracket. All right, you're going to click TRG with 2 brackets. Look what you have. Same thing, just 2 of them. So if we have 1,000 shares, the nice thing you're going to notice is it automatically divvies it up between the 2 brackets. These numbers here, these are 500. Let's see if I scroll over there. See how it's 500 in that little box? So this is 500 and this is 500. It divvies it up for you. So let's say you want to have a 25-cent stop loss. Okay, so I'm going to click this guy here, and I'm going to make the stop loss 25 cents. And I want to do the same thing maybe up here. Maybe I want to go ahead and make this one 25 cents. So I'm just going to go ahead and type in 0.25, 0.25. Now, this is where the beauty of 2 brackets comes in. You can set one at one target and one at another. So let's say this target up here, let's make this one, let's go ahead and do, let's do 50 cents. 50-cent target there. And then on this one down here on our second bracket, let's get crazy, Tammy. Let's go with Let's do 75 cents. All right, so you can see here, stop loss, stop loss. Those are both 25, they're the same. But we've got 75-cent target on one, 50-cent target on the other. And let's go ahead and look to, let's just place this thing and let's get short here. Let's get short below 93.50. So I'm going to go on here to the chain. I'm going to click this. I'm going to edit. Now remember, you always want to change this to a stop limit because you want to be able to say, trigger me at 93.50, but I'm willing to take as low as 93.40. So I'm going to change this down to 93.40. That's that 10-cent gap so that we don't get skipped on the order. And then I'm going to confirm and send. Uh-oh, I missed it. Our price action's below 93.50. All right, let's do 93.30 and 93.20. And let's see if that triggers this in here. 93.20. All right. So I'm going to confirm and send this out. Let's make sure. All right, that's perfect. I'm going to send that out. And this should be at for some reason 93.30 and 93. For some reason that didn't get triggered. 93.20. All right, we're going to confirm and send that out. Okay. What we're going to do is we're actually going to drag it. We're going to bring it down here. And we're going to see if we can get triggered here. Okay, so it just triggered us in. So I'm going to scrunch the screen up so you can see everything. Okay, here's what we have. Let me explain this because this is confusing. Two brackets, right? Both of the stop losses are at the same level. Target 1 here at 25 cents. Target 2 at 75 cents. I'm going to move these out of the way a little bit here, just so we don't get triggered out prematurely. And that's the other thing that's interesting is you can make the stop losses the same or different. So you have total autonomy. You can move stop losses wherever you want. You can move targets wherever you want. If I decide I want to bring this target up, I could drag this one up closer. And one thing I might do is actually try and take some profit here. 93.26. Let's see if I can see if we can get a little profit right here. I'll drop that target right there. Okay, let me answer a couple questions. Let's see. Do I think, Maisha says, do you think that market makers can move price to trigger your stop? I always feel like when I put it in a bracket order, price seems to move towards my stop instead of my profit. You know, I hear people talk about that, Maisha, and that, yeah, they could. That could happen. But don't let that get you down because honestly, the market makers, you know, do they really care about our 1,000-share orders? I don't know that they do. Sure, if they're close and they need the shares, they could grab them. That could happen. But I wouldn't focus too much on that. I would just more focus your energy on being consistent. I think that, yes, on occasion that could happen, but for the most part, I would say no. Thomas Smith, thank you so much. Thomas Smith dropped $5 in the super chat, and I am so grateful from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so very much, Thomas. You're helping support the channel. Super chat's the way to do it. I love that we're just keeping these live streams free and open to everybody. It's just I think the best way to go. And I don't think I pointed out Jerry Polite. You are in the chat. Let's see here. Can I speak more on how to find stop losses? Jerry says. How to find a stop loss. You know, Jerry, that gets into your strategy. That gets into, you know, do you want to keep it standard like I do at 25 cents? Or do you want to be a structural stop loss where maybe you don't, you know, you place your stop above the high point of a structure? We could get into that at another time, or maybe a little little later after we get through some of this bracket stuff. But that's a good question, but it kind of depends on your specific strategy, what you've back tested. The back test is the total key on that. Thomas, thank you so much. I appreciate that super chat. Thank you. Let's see if this target's going to hit. You see where we are? We've got 45 bucks on the P&L. Our first target is set just below that low, so maybe we can get triggered in there. Let's see. John King says, don't you find toss is laggy in the morning, especially when the market's very volatile? Have I ever been screwed by low execute? Yeah, so John, I've actually got, many of you would notice I didn't put out a video on Friday. Things got a little busy for me. I did record it, and I do plan to put that out so you guys can see trade number 111. But something weird did happen to me on Friday. So I got triggered into a trade, and I lost on the upside on AMD. I got stopped out. Then I got triggered on the short side, and the trade went really well. And then, oh, I'm sorry, let me back up. When I got stopped out on the upside, my stop loss didn't trigger. So price action dropped, hit my stop, and kept going. And at that point, I was like, okay, so I was down a lot more than my stop loss. So what I do in that scenario, and I'm going to explain it in the video, is I come up here to the support button, and I just click it. I chat with them and just say, hey, listen, I've got my stop loss in the book, and it didn't trigger. And so, you know, I don't know what the deal is, but I need you guys to help me out. And what they do is they go back and look to see if there's any delays in the system. And the stop loss was a delayed order in their system. For some reason, their software wasn't operating quick enough. So what they do is they actually see where your stop loss should have been, which was 25 cents for me, and then they credit my account. So I lost $500 on that stop out when I should have only lost $300. And they went ahead and they credited me back, so my stop loss. So I ended up losing $288 instead of $500. They're really good about that, so I encourage you to contact them. And that's why you always need a stop loss in the book. Because if you don't have a stop loss in the system, it's just your word against, you know, it's like, I wanted to get out here. And they'd say, oh, okay, we'll approve it. And you can't. So they probably won't be able to help you if you don't have a hard stop in the system. Let's see. Jane Trader's asking, do I go long or short based on the 15-minute candle? Jane Trader, no. I put one order to go long and one order to go short, one in 2 different accounts, and then I let AMD decide what it wants to do. If it decides to go short, then that order gets triggered. If it decides to go long, then that's the order that gets triggered. So I play either side, again, going back to how can I take my opinions and thoughts out of the trade and just make it about probabilities? And that's how I do it. John King says, after I get stopped out, then it starts working. Will you get back in again? Not to the same side. So if I go long and get stopped out, I don't go long again. I just leave my short order in place. And then if I go short and get stopped out, I'm done. I either take 1 trade a day or 2 trades a day. That's it. I never take more than 2. I never take less than 1. Let's see. Same thing for you on toss. Jay Morgan, you've had problems with toss? Oh, Michael, gotcha. So if you click this button over here, I can speed the trade up. That'll bump it up. And I can also move this up a little bit to see if we can trigger this in. Sorry to keep you guys watching this thing so long. All right, that one looks like it's about to get triggered, our first target. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so that first target just got triggered. Now what you'll see is when that target got triggered, it removed the corresponding stop loss. So it just keeps it really, really simple. You don't have to worry about managing the stop loss after you've hit one of your targets. So then the second target. Let's move this one down here and see if. So you can just adjust these. You can do whatever you want with them, but it basically just kind of keeps things very clean and simple, and you don't have to really think. You know where your stop is, you know where your target is, which all this stuff's based on your back testing, And as long as you've back tested things and you've got things set up, you should be good to go. Let's see here. Ray, how do I determine my entry price for long and short positions? For me, this is just my strategy, and again, I always recommend back test whatever your strategy is, but I base it off pre-market candles. I like to look at that last 15-minute candle. I like to go long above it and short below it. That's kind of that's sort of a one piece of what I do for my strategy. Oh, Jay Morgan. So everybody look in the chat. Jay Morgan just said he had the same issue on Friday. His stop loss didn't trigger, so he contacted support and they fixed it. That's exactly how you do it. If you contact them and reach out to them, they will go ahead and look in the book and see if there's a delay and then credit your account. I've had it happen a handful of times over the last probably the last 4 months, and they are really good about it. So as long as you have that stop loss in, it tends to keep you pretty protected. All right, I'm going to move, I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to move the target down, and I'm going to tighten up our stop. We'll see if we get stopped out of this position here. Drop it right about there. Let's see what happens. So this is sort of bracket orders, I guess 101. It's just having a stop and a target. And if you want multiple brackets within it, it'll just split your shares up. So I put in 1,000 shares, it put 500 in each one, and kept that good. So there you go. Just got stopped out, and now we're down total 135. And then if you're using this, you can always come up to this reset button, click it and say reset account, and that'll reset your account and zero you back out. All right, that's bracket orders. Any other questions on that? If you don't have questions, I might turn the on-demand off and go over to the charts here, and we can talk other questions. We can talk about strategy and trade management. Tammy, you got any questions? All right, Leonardo, he's saying, what's the difference between OCO and TRG? So if you click on OCO, OCO just means order cancels order, or some people say one cancels other. It's when one gets triggered out, the other one gets triggered out. I don't use this. I'm not super versed in it, but you can basically use this to create different, basically like you can create a stop loss based on dollar amount or percentage, but I'm not going to speak to it because I don't get into it that much. I don't ever use it. I always use the TRG with the bracket. I just like that. I find this very simple, and I think visually it makes a lot of sense, so I just go ahead and use that. I'm going to turn off on demand here. Let's see. There we go. Let's see if that. Thomas, do I read news? Yeah, I love the markets, so I'm always reading news. News doesn't affect my day trade on AMD though. I just trade the same way every day. But it does affect other trades and options trades that I do, things like that. But I love the markets. I love to follow them, so I do read the news, Thomas. And thank you again for the super chat. John King, I'm here late. Did I already talk about how to define where you want to take your stop loss? That's just up to your strategy. That's a very personal thing for each and every trader, where you want to place your stop loss. For me, with my one-day trade I take every day, I have a set stop loss of 25 cents. But that's just because I have a good feel for the stock that I trade. That could be very different for like a Roku or let's look at a Tesla real quick. Like, for example, you know, Tesla, a range on one of Tesla's candles can be, let's look at the range of like this first 15-minute candle, has a range of, from 624 basically to $11, $12 range on one candle, whereas for AMD, a big range on it might be, $1 or $1.25, something like that. So you just have to know, your stock really well and watch the chart action, to watch it every day and see what it does as far as ebb and flowing. Yes, Jane Trader, excellent question. Will the flatten button get you out of both long and short orders? Flatten button will only get you out of the order that you have placed in the account that you've selected. So, for example, up here on this account button, if I click this button, this is one account. If I click flatten, it'll flatten me out of the position that I have registered on the screen right here. But if I want to flatten my other position, I would open this up and flip to another account and close that. Leonardo, do I have two computers to set my long and short? I just use one computer. I just trade off of a MacBook Pro, and that seems to work really well. I'm just kind of flipping back and forth between the orders. Let me see. Tammy, thank you so much. Great explanations. Thank you. Ron, I missed your comment. Do I use hotkeys? I don't use any hotkeys. I know traders that do, and that can make things fairly quick. I feel like hotkeys are really helpful in platforms that execute like really, really quick, like that have middleware, that have high frequency middleware, like I think Lightspeed and Speed Trader, some of those interactive brokers, I think those are quicker executions. I feel like ThinkOrSwim's executions are okay, but I just prefer to just click the button rather than have to hotkey. Ray, I actually don't know. I don't trade on their phone app. I have the phone app, but if I look at it real quick, I don't actually trade on the phone. So I don't know how ThinkOrSwim sets up the bracket orders. I could look that up and do a video on that, but I honestly don't ever use it. I just prefer to trade right here on my MacBook. I'm kind of old school. I just punch the buttons. I flip between screens. It's never really bothered me. So that's kind of how I roll. Let's see. Do I need to keep both accounts above PDT, or is it total? Yeah, each account will have to be above the PDT, because if you do drop below, they will limit your number of trades. Now you can be below the PDT and just take 1 or 2 trades a week. That totally works. You don't have to take a trade every day. That's my preference, but this is, I'm doing this full time, so I need to be trading every single day. Let's see, Maisha says, I was watching one of your trades. You have a 2-to-1 strategy, all or nothing, but what if the market only wants to give 1.5 to 1 that day? Why lose 1.5 profit to make the rest of 0.5? So Maisha, this is an interesting topic, and this is something I love about day trading, and I love about having a live stream and having YouTube channels, because it gives me an opportunity to talk to people about this stuff. So when you're in a trade and you're trying to get to your 2R, all your metrics are calculated based on where you set your target. So let's say that 2R is where I need to get to, and it's not quite there, and it's not quite there, and it drops down to 1.5, and I just say, oh, I got to get out, and I get out. And then that trade moves and goes to 4R, or moves and goes to your target. You now just took profit that was on a smaller scale. Now, for me, I always take the same stop loss, 1R. So 1R is a larger percentage of 1.5R than it is 2R. So it's funny, because when you're in the moment and you're watching it, you're saying, well, why didn't you take profit there? You had more money. Well, the reason is because you have to have full winners in order to balance your full losers, because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know that it's only going to go to 1.5. You just know that it's at 1.5. So it's hindsight. If you could employ hindsight and you're actually live, you could see the future and then go back. Man, we'd all be amazing traders. But in the moment, you just don't know what's going to happen. So you have to create boundaries for yourself that'll keep you consistent and make sure that your winners are a certain percentage bigger than your losers. For me, I need my winners to be 2 to 2.5 R and my losers to be 1 R. That's a great balance for me. That means that I need to be right about 30% of the time to break even. And that's just my comfort. You might have a different comfort level. So you might prefer to take profit at 1.5 and maybe stop out at, at 1 R and just take that 0.5 profit. That's another way of going about it. But you have to be right more often. I'm wrong all the time. So maybe that's why. I just know I'm going to be wrong a lot. So I need to get that win rate balanced with the R's. So if I'm only winning 30% of the time, my win's got to be bigger. Let's see. But what about you, the trader, using your experience from trading to call in an audible? Because it's not feeling or looking right. Okay. So Maisha, calling an audible. An audible has to be part of your trading plan. So here's an example. I have an audible built into my trading plan and management style. And that audible is the following. When I am in excess of 5R profit, because as many of you know, I will trail my stop loss bar by bar on the 15-minute chart as long as the next bar doesn't come back and stop me out. I stop myself at the extremes of each bar as we move down or move up. Once we get beyond 5R, I give myself the liberty to flatten the position and take profit whenever I want. So let's say we cross 5R, and then in my head I say, okay, my rule says at 5R, I can take profit if I want. I can flatten the position. Then it surges to 7R, and I flatten and get out. That's acceptable. But if I'm at 4R, I can't call an audible yet because it's not built into my plan. When you're trading in the moment, you shouldn't have to make any decisions. You should have an algorithm written on paper that says, once you get to 2R, you do this. Once you get to 2.5R, you do that. What do you do before you get to 3R? You should have a full plan written out. That way you don't have to make any decisions. And if you watched my videos from earlier in this week, I struggled with a couple of things, and I've had to adapt my trading plan to reflect these changes. And it's a good thing. When we lose trades, when we screw things up, when we do things that impact us negatively, it's good because we learn from it. We adjust our trading plan. No trading plan is ever perfect or ever 100% right. It's always being evolved. It's a constant evolution because markets change, because your account balance changes, you personally change. There are all kinds of things playing in, so we got to make sure that we have an ironclad plan where we don't make any decisions. You just follow the algorithm. Basically, you want to be a computer when the market opens. All right, that was a long explanation. Let's dive back in here. People that want to use my bracket order strategy. So, Ray, this is great. I want to address this. So, I'm fine with people wanting to take from my strategy, but the problem becomes if you're trying to emulate it the same, you're trying to do the same thing I am, the problem is you don't have 300 back tests. You don't have my same algorithm. You don't know what I do if, say, at the last second before the market opens, the candle surges. Like, you don't know what I do then. We all trade it differently. So I would say if you want to trade my 15-minute bracket opening range breakout from the pre-market strategy, start with the core value of look at that last 15-minute candle and then back test. See how it behaves around that candle. And maybe you don't want to use AMD. You want to use a different stock than I do. Go back, look at that, back test it, see if you can get a 50% win rate on a way that you would trade it. Because in the hands of 10 different traders, the same strategy has 10 different shades. we all can't trade exactly the same because we're all very different. So I say, don't copy my strategy. Take bits and pieces from my strategy, if you like, and make it yours. And then back test it 100 times. And then email me at takingtrades@gmail.com. Email me your sheet, and I'll look at your stats and how it did at 1.5R, 2R, 2.5, 3R, and I'll give you my opinion on what your back test looked like. I'll kind of give you input on, do I think you back tested it thoroughly? Do I think you could add things to it? I'd love to give you input. So if you back test something 100 times, you put it in a spreadsheet, email it to me, and we'll talk about it. Oh man, we're getting a lot of comments. Let me go through here. Let's see. Curious, why do you call it $100? Oh, John King, $100 room, totally random. I don't know. I just picked that. It sounded interesting. If anybody has a better name for these live streams, we should have a competition here. If you have a better name for these live streams, pop it in the chat, and I'd be happy to change the name of the live stream. $100 room was just a random name that I gave it. Okay, Maisha, here, let's see. You understand, you like that method of thinking. So you're saying you set target when you can allow yourself to take profits because you've met your target. Exactly. Exactly. If your plan says take profit at 2R, you always take profit at 2R. You don't break your rules. If you break your rules, you're introducing different variables that you can't control. It's like if someone were fixing an engine and they didn't know what was wrong with it, and they say they take out the spark plugs and put new spark plugs in. You would test the engine and say, did that fix it? Before you would make another change. You wouldn't change the spark plugs and the air filter. I don't know about engines, but you wouldn't make multiple changes at once, because then if it worked, you would say, oh, well, what was it? Was it the air filter or the spark plugs? You don't know. It's kind of like a scientist experimenting. You make one change and then you retest. You make one change and then you retest, because you want to be able to isolate the variable that's causing the issue. Same thing with trading. You don't want to make multiple changes. You want to adjust one thing at a time to help sharpen your strategy. Ray, you're very, very welcome. Let's see. What's my rule for figuring out how many shares to enter by? Okay, I got something for you guys. I'm going to show you now how I calculate my shares. Let me get this set up. I'm going to grab a calculator here, and we are going to go over how to pick out share size. All right, so I'm going to transition over here. So everybody should be seeing my calculator. If you can't see my calculator, pop that in the chat and tell me you can't see the calculator. Oh, Jerry Petit likes $100 factory room. That's the factory room. Ah, Leonardo, I like that. Yes. Ahmad says $100 room is best. Okay, we gotta think about this. We gotta come up with a name for this live stream. I kind of like $100 factory. The $100 factory. I kind of like that. We'll have to vote on that. So I've got my calculator up, and let's talk about share size. Does anybody in the room know how to appropriately share size? Do you know how to calculate how many shares to buy or sell? Because this is super important. This is the key to trading right here. Anybody know? Because let's say, for example, let's say you want to risk $200, okay? You want to risk $200 on a trade. And if you want to calculate how many shares to buy, you need to know what your stop loss is. Ahmad, you nailed it. That's perfect. R value decides. So your R value, say your R value is $200. And I have videos on R value, so you can go back and watch those, but $200 is how much you're willing to lose on the trade. That's your R value. Now you have to say, what is your stop loss? Yes, EV trades. I love this. Your risk amount divided by your stop loss. I don't even need to do this. You guys have this perfect. So $200 risk divided by my stop loss. For me, my stop loss is 25 cents. So I put in 25 cents, okay? 800 shares. So for my real live example right now, I'm risking $300 on every trade that I take, every day trade. And I always risk, I have a 25-cent stop loss, okay? So you may have noticed on my videos, I've been trading 1,200 shares. Now in January, I'm going to bump it from $300 to $350 per trade. Now if I divide that by 25 cents, that's 1,400 shares. So I'll trade 1,200 shares now, and I will be upping that to 1,400 shares in January with $350 risk and a 25-cent stop. But look what happens if I do this. $350 risk divided by 30 cents instead of 25. Now, instead of buying 1,400 shares, I'm buying about 1166. So the larger the stop loss, the lower the amount of shares you're buying. Now you might say, well, how would you trade something like Tesla? Okay, I'm risking $300, and let's say my stop loss on Tesla is $15. I buy 20 shares. This is how you trade any stock. This allows you to trade anything. If I'm risking $300 on a trade, and I want to trade Google, and my stop loss is $75, that means I buy 4 shares. You see how powerful this is? It can be applied to anything. So you can calculate share size on any stock for any trader. I mean, you could literally even say, I'm risking $50 on the trade. My stop loss is, $60. You buy 0.83 shares. And again, 0.83 works in things like Robinhood with fractional shares, but say you're risking $50 and your stop loss is $50. You buy 1 share. This is legitimate. This works as long as then you apply, your stop loss is $50. Your take profit now has to be greater than $50. You have to be either 1.5 or 2 times or 2.5 times or 3 times. And it all works the same no matter what you're trading. Maisha, you base it on your risk. And based on your risk, you mean based on, Maisha, what are you risking per trade? Let's do your example here. What do you risk on every trade? How many dollars per trade? $50, $20, $10? Are you in the paper account risking $100? Oh, and Guy Rodera says, did I check the alternative to do it with 10 options instead of 1,000 shares? Yes, you can trade, you can buy options, you can buy puts and calls. I don't do that because for some reason in my head, I can't get around the fact that when I buy those calls, every second that goes by, they're losing money. All right, and I know people say, well, you're only holding them for a few minutes, but let's say I don't, or something happens and I have to hold them. I know that at the end of the week, they're worthless. Like for some reason it's comforting in my head that if I had to hold my AMD shares, they still hold value. They don't evaporate. Okay, Maisha says, okay, she's risking $50. All right, so $50, 1% of your account, real money. Okay, Maisha, so let's see. But simply put, when you allow or give yourself permission to size up, is it based on your profits or your experience? Maisha, that's a good question. Here's what I did. A couple years ago, I started risking $10 per trade. And then after, I think I had 100 back tests, and then I went from $10, then a couple months later, I went to $25. And then a month or two later, I went to $50. And then a month or two later, I went to $75. I went by $25 increments until I got to $150. And then from $150, I went to $200, and $200 to $250 to $300. And basically where I am now after a couple years is every month I'm increasing my R value by $50. As long as my strategy keeps working, as long as things keep working and going in the right direction. If my metrics don't look good and I'm losing more and things are going the wrong way, I can keep my R at the same level or even back it back down. But as long as we keep going in the right direction and I keep being profitable and growing, I keep upping the risk. Now I'm going to increase it until we get into next year up to $500 per trade. And then I'm going to kind of sit there and just see what's happening. I might stay at 500 for a while if I get there. May continue beyond 500. We'll just have to see what happens there. But Maisha, when you are risking $50, then you're obviously dividing that by whatever your stop loss is so that you know how many shares to buy. Is that correct? EV trades, I agree with you. Your risk should never be more than 1% of the account, but should be around that level to grow the account. Right. Yeah, it's a good rule of thumb. If you're risking more than, if you have a back-tested strategy, you should be risking 1%. If you don't have a back-tested strategy, you should be risking nothing and just be in the paper account or be back-testing something. But yes, 1% if you have a strategy that has an edge. So let's go ahead. Let's flip back over to the chart here. All right, let's get into other strategy talk. Anybody have any other questions? An hour has already gone by. You guys have been amazing. The super chats have been, Thomas, thank you for that super chat. I want to thank you again, and then I want to thank Ahmad. You guys are very generous. Thank you for that super chat. That's awesome. Let's see here. What else can we get into? Okay, let's see. Leonardo. Is it ever possible to kill the other trades if you hit your target on one? Let's see what you mean. You mean on the double bracket? So if I have two brackets going like this, you're wondering if one gets hit, will it well, it won't, because it's only going to liquidate half your position. You would have to, you're going to have it, yeah, if you want it to all liquidate at once, you'd have to have just one bracket on. I agree, Maisha. It went super fast. Srinivas, let's see. How long have I been trading that strategy? Did you change the way you manage the trade from when you started? Absolutely. So I've been trading this strategy now for, boy, most of this year I've been messing with this strategy. So yeah, and yes, it has changed drastically, and it's going to continue to change. And it changed majorly about 2 weeks ago, 2.5, maybe 3 weeks ago. I keep making these adjustments as I get more experience with the strategy. As things come together and it starts to show itself as working in a certain way, you sort of like keep what's working and throw out what's not. So you keep just refining and sharpening it, and it's a powerful thing to just give something time. I know it seems like it takes forever, you know, like to think about 12 months going by seems like a long time, but once you're at 12 months, it goes so fast. I think about the YouTube channel in that way sometimes. I've been on YouTube for almost 2 years. New Year's Eve will be 2 years for me. And I've got about 240 videos out. And to think about 2 years, if you would have told me that at the beginning, that seems like such a long time, but here we are. It's gone so fast. I'll just say that your accumulation of trading days will go so fast when you look back on them. Let's see. Oh, Leonardo, no, on the long versus the short. So Leonardo's wondering if you can take a win or something on your short trade and have it cancel your long trade, or vice versa. No, I manually, once I catch that winner, I flip accounts and I cancel the other one. And by cancel it, I just mean I click that X that comes up. Just click it on the screen and it takes it off immediately. Thomas Smith, why I use AMD? I use AMD because it's extremely liquid. Extremely liquid, and it moves. It moves every day. And another thing I like about it is it's hot on retail traders' lists. A lot of retail traders trade it. So it's an actively traded thing. It's always kind of in the top 15 traded symbols with most platforms, most brokers. So I just like that it's kind of it's a popular one that's being traded a lot. It's just extremely liquid. Makes it very easy. The bid-ask spread is very, very tight, and that's the key to getting good orders, getting good fills. You're welcome, Jerry. Thank you. I appreciate that compliment. All right, wonderful. Any other questions on anything? Anybody want to dive into any of their strategy? If you've got a strategy you want to tell me about, or you want to ask questions about, or come up with management techniques, we can talk through it. I can't believe it's already been over an hour. Ray, you want me to start a Discord chat room? I've got the Facebook group. Does anybody else want me to start a Discord room? I hear people mention that all the time, but I've never set one up. I've heard it's nice because it's like an instant chat, kind of like we're doing now. So I could look into that if you guys think that would be worth it. Let's see. Why can't I? The reason I can't do it in the same account is because they don't allow for a long and a short, John King. They don't allow for that in the same account. You can do short or long. And then the other thing I like is having that second account. I have a second margin account so that you get 4-to-1 leverage on your money for day trading. Day trade buying power is what they call it. All right, Jay Morgan and Ray want me to start Discord. Let me think about that. Leonardo, if you usually hit one of your trades, long versus short, then why don't you go with higher share size? Well, so that's a great question, Leonardo. That will come with time. I've been gently working my way up, and I started very low, and I'm currently at 1,200 share size. Starting Jan 1, I'll be at 1,400 share size. Feb 1, I'll be at 1,600 share size. I'm slowly increasing over time as to not risk too much at one time. I don't want to go from trading 1,000 shares to, the next month trading 5,000 shares. I need my profits. If I were to take, a cluster of losers, I can't have that wiping out a big chunk of my profits. So that's why I'm just gently increasing it. Srinivas, it may be possible the price may stop out multiple times and still keep triggering on the trade direction. How many shots do you give it before stopping it for the day? This is going to be painful to hear, but 1. If I trigger in and get stopped, I'm done. I'm done to that side. If I get triggered on the downside and stopped out, I'm done on that side. So that's why I say it's key to know what its retracement, what its ebb and flow is. If AMD always retraces 15 cents, then I don't want to have a stop loss there. I need to be beyond that. And that's going to change over time. It used to be for me, when AMD was trading in the 60s, I was trading a 20-cent stop loss. But as it's grown in price and moved more, I've changed that to 25 cents right now. So as long as that keeps working, I'll keep it there, but I will change to 30 cents if I need to. I'll go back to 20 cents if I need to, if the price drops and it doesn't move as much. But that's a great question. Let's see, Swervin' Mad, good to see me back. You were thinking that I might have passed away. Wow, I've been back for a while. Where have you been? I'm glad you're in the live stream. This is great. Oh, so Guy doesn't think I should start a Discord. It's just noise. Okay, it's just something to think about. I kind of like our Facebook group. I wish we could get super engaged there and have people just posting things and helping each other, and it's a nice platform for having that. And then I can reach out to you guys really easily. I kind of like the Facebook thing. Let's see, Jane Trader. So you will win either the long or the short daily. Is that correct? Could you get stopped out on both long and short and lose all? Yes, Jane. I can lose on the long and the short. I call those my double loser days. And those do happen. They don't happen a ton of the time, but they're definitely not fun. But when they happen, I know it's just part of the game. It's the price that I pay to catch the whales. Because if I get stopped on one side and I call it a day, sometimes the other side, there's a whale lurking beneath. Every calendar has a cluster or a handful of whales. December has presented 2 whales. So you have to make sure, I have to put myself in a position to catch all the movers if they present themselves. Tammy, I haven't seen your son in here. Is he in here? I've been looking for him. I thought I saw him at the beginning. I'm not sure if Tammy is still here. I'm going to give her a hard time. I'm going to give her son a hard time. We have a mother-daughter or mother-son pair in the chat usually. Let's see, Ahmad, you need some help on setting a template for the bracket order as the only platform allowed to me. Oh, with E-Trade. Boy, Ahmad, I don't know about E-Trade. Swerving mad. YouTube algorithms screwing things up. Yes, they are. I'm glad you found me again. I'm glad. It's awesome. Let's see. So Michael said, how many times do I lose one trade and win one? That happens, I would say, I can go back and look at my metrics on traderview.com and give you an answer to that. If I had to guess right off the bat, how often do I lose one and then win one? I would say that happens, I would say less than 20% of the time. It is more common if I do take a loser on the one side, and then if I only look at the trades where I have to take two, on the days I take two trades, I would say that I win the second one more than half the time. So it works. It's like 50 to 60% I do win that. And then Commercial Guy says, do I sometimes set alerts in ThinkOrSwim to scan and find stocks breaking to new highs, like a watch list that alerts me? I don't, but I think that's valuable. I don't, because I just trade AMD every day. I just stick with my one. AMD is my thing, and so I try to stick with it and keep things rolling. Just because it's such a liquid stock that moves so well. So I just stick with AMD. Thomas Smith says TradeStation is good for your style. Okay, I'll have to check that out. I do get tired of ThinkOrSwim at times. It kind of makes me a little crazy. I wish that it would not be so slow and sluggish at times, but they have been good about taking care of me when things do come up, when there are problems. Let's see. John King, do I mind to share how much you made just from this strategy last month? I don't mind that at all, John. That's coming very soon. So what I'm doing is I'm going through the entire month of December, and then I'm going to filter in my TraderView.com account. I'm filtering out December. I'm going to package it all up, and then I'm going to put out a video right after the first of the year, and it's going to have a full breakdown of how many trades I took, how many losses, how many winners, my total profits. I'm even going to show you my drawdowns, so you'll know like how far in the hole I went at one time. If you don't know what a drawdown that is, that's basically saying how many consecutive losses in a row did you have, and then it puts a dollar amount on that. So if I lost $50 one day, that would be a $50 drawdown. And then if I lost the next day, the drawdown would continue until I got a winner that canceled out the drawdown. So I'm going to show you that. I'm going to get into the full picture of it. So make sure you come back or turn on your bell notifications on the channel, because I'm going to put that video out. And then moving forward, John, I'm going to produce a video every month about how I did for the previous month. So you're going to get my day-to-day videos about my trades, and then we're going to break it down every month, and I'm going to show you the ins and outs and everything. And then if you guys hang out till the end of next year, we're going to do a full year on TraderView. I'm going to show you everything, the total profit day trading for all of 2021 and all the ins and outs. So subscribe. Bring friends to the channel. Get them to subscribe, because we're going to be pumping out a lot of content this year. This is sort of, we're going to really emerge this year. Really want to get a lot of engagement and just keep moving forward. And it starts with these live streams, which we're going to call, what are we going to call it? Factory, $100 Factory? Is that what we're going to call it? We got to vote on a name. We got to get more suggestions for the name. I don't think Tammy's in the room anymore. Tammy, where did you go? I'm going to have to come over to Facebook and message you and heckle you a little bit. You guys are great. Jane Trader, are you still in here? You have any other questions? And does your friend have any questions? We got to talk about Discord. We got to talk about, yeah, I got to make some decisions. So we covered bracket orders. We're talking about strategy, management. psychology. Any other questions from you all? This has been amazing. I love seeing new names like Swerve and Mad show up. Oh, wonderful. Thanks, Jane. Let's see. Jerry's asking if I ever go live during the market time. I haven't, but I've considered it. It's sort of a private time where I like to just be with the markets and do my thing. And oh, Tammy is here. Okay, good to see you. Tammy, I was wondering where your son is, if he's in here. Okay, Adriana, I'm glad you're here. Have Adriana subscribe to the channel and start asking questions. Adriana, you can be a day trader. We can teach you this stuff. It's not that hard. You just got to be consistent. But thank you for joining Jane Trader today. I love having you in here. Let's see. Anything else? Any other questions? This has been amazing. You guys are absolutely amazing. Okay, yeah, thank you, Jerry. That's kind. Yeah, I need to figure out about going live during market hours. I'd like to have a live stream where I go live about 10 minutes before the market opens, and you guys just watch me trade. That would be really cool. It's a little intimidating. I got to kind of figure that out, but that could be something that could come. That could be a goal for 2021. Tammy says, Chloe is here, but very new, so I need to create a playlist for her. Where to start with trading, new to the language and all. Okay. Chloe, I'm glad you're here. Great first step if you're wanting to gently kind of get into things. Subscribe to the channel. Ask me questions. I love to talk strategy. I just like to interact and help people get through sort of the slog that I went through with learning. And Connor's always hovering. We'll tell Connor hello. Yeah, so we'll talk about a live stream. Maybe in 2021 we'll set a goal of maybe having an occasional live stream at the market open. I don't know. We'll see. Jivraj, you came in late. Is this recorded? This will be on the channel. Yes, you can go back and watch this as soon as, I don't know how long YouTube takes to get this loaded to the channel, but just click in the live section. Or it should pop up on the main page for you, yeah. So what's everybody's plan going into next week? Any trading plan? Any tickers that you're focused on? Anything that any new strategies you're starting to deploy after back testing them? Anybody got anything that they're working on for the upcoming week? And any other questions to ask me? Or anything else you want to talk about? We can dive into some charts. We can do anything. You can do whatever you want. It's Sunday. We're just hanging out. We got our coffee. Tammy's got her coffee. Okay, so Tammy's voting yes to a live stream at the market open. We have to look into that. Give me some time on that. I gotta figure out how to make that work. You're starting back trading today. So, okay, so Monday you're trading, Tammy? Just leave my video on with no talking. Oh, Thomas, that's an interesting idea. I could just live stream and not have any audio. Yeah, I don't know what. That's actually a great idea. Let me stop everyone real quick. How many of you would find value in watching my screen live but not having any audio or chat? Just me setting up my trade. Okay, Leonardo, you're working on your stop loss and whatever gappers come up during the week. Okay, so looking for gappers to go long or gap down to go short. Is that kind of how you're playing it, Leonardo? Jerry's watching ABNB. Oh, FOMO, you missed it. Careful about that FOMO. Don't worry about it. Yes, Tommy, coffee. Tammy, sorry. Waiting for Neo to come back. Thomas is waiting for Neo. Robert, I would say if you want to know how I manage profits on winners, watch last week's videos. They're not, they're all about 10 minutes. Go back and watch those. You'll get a really good feel for how I take profits. Okay, Jane Trader wants it too. Awesome. Maybe we can work into that. We could do that. Maisha says, thank you for all the value you provided us today. You are amazing. Maisha, you are amazing. Thank you. You want audio. Okay, maybe I need to consider the live stream with the audio then. Mike's going to be trading in the morning. Tammy prefers audio. Okay, we might have to consider that. Give me some time. It's not going to happen before the end of the year. Audio is critical. Hey, Jim Mitchell, did you just pop into the channel? Let's see. I'm more with Maisha. Need audio. Yeah. Okay. Audio will be part of it if we do it then. Yeah, because I get it. You guys want to, you can hear my thought process and you can kind of see the raw emotion in the moment. Let's see. It might be useful to have the chat at least. Okay. And Leonardo says that to have the chat would be valuable. So let's do audio. Let's do chat. Let's do the full thing. And that way it's just a rich experience for everybody. I agree, Maisha. Watching without audio could be confusing. Yeah, I totally get that. We can definitely do that. Yeah, so live stream. So we'll put that on the goal list for 2021. See if we can get that going. And I'm thinking 10 minutes before the market opens, 15 minutes. We could kind of just get a quick introduction, answer any quick questions, and then I'll probably just kind of ignore the chat and focus on the charts, but keep talking. Yes, EV trades. Everybody, please read what EV trades just chatted. Don't chase my trades. So that is one concern about, the live stream is there's going to be a lag, there's a delay, so you can't mimic my trades, but if you try, you could lose money, and I would feel really bad about that. Okay, Jim, you've been here the whole time. Thank you for coming in today. Jerry says, do I like the thought of taking some profit on every win and moving it into your savings? So Jerry, the way I do things is I trade for 2 straight weeks, and then what I'll do is I'll make a withdrawal of my profits. So in my trading accounts, I keep X number of dollars that are sort of set, and then profits on top of that, I trim and transfer that over to my savings and my checking account. So I pay myself sort of like I had a job every 2 weeks. Do I close out AMD every day, or do I ever hold overnight? I never hold overnight, Robert. It's too big a size for overnight risk, in my opinion. If it were a small nibble position, if I had a couple hundred shares and I wanted to hold it longer term, then I'd be okay with that. But no, taking 1,200 shares overnight, if some news came out or something weird went on, it could be a massive win, but it could also be a massive loser. And I don't like the statistics on that. So, yeah. All right, let's see here. What else do we got going? It's also not recommended, not because of lag, but you need your own trading plan and rules. You probably don't know Jimmy's rules and execute them in real time. EV trades, you're saying a lot of great things. I appreciate that. That's absolutely perfect. Jerry likes that. This has been an awesome second live stream. I'm sorry about the delay and the choppiness in the beginning of the recording this morning. That was kind of weird, but I'm glad we got it resolved. I'm constantly refining the stream settings to make this better, so hopefully I'll just keep improving as we go along. Any final questions? I don't want to tie up your Sunday any longer. I want you to go enjoy the day. We've got some snow in Colorado this morning. I got to drink coffee. I got to get my video edited, the one trade number 111. If you guys want me to send that out, let me know. But this has been crazy successful. We've had upwards of 35 to 38 people at any one time in the chat just hanging out. So let's see. Not sure why Super Chat's not working for me. It keeps saying something went wrong. Oh, no. So, Maisha, click that $ button. What does it say to you when you click that? I appreciate you trying to put in a Super Chat. Has anybody else had trouble trying to Super Chat? That'd be super unfortunate. If you click the $, let me ask. Let me see if someone is in the room who put one in. Hey, Thomas Smith, did you have any trouble super chatting? Clicking the $ button and trying? Let's see. I'm messing with the stream. Try it again, Maisha. See if it works. Let's see. Oh, your PayPal's not working, Jerry. Okay. No, no problem. No, I'm not in. It's not mandatory to super chat. I just really appreciate it, and it supports the channel. It keeps the stream live. So if you can't super chat, I don't care at all. But if you do, of course, I'm going to be super grateful. Oh, PayPal's not working. And Leonardo, oh, Tammy. So Tammy, how did you do that? Thank you so much. You're so sweet. Let's see. Leonardo doesn't see the dollar button. Leonardo, can you grab your chat window? Is there a way to resize your chat window or increase your screen size? Only with PayPal. So Thomas, you used PayPal. Tammy, did you use PayPal? You're so sweet, Tammy. This is 2 weeks in a row, everybody, that Tammy's been super chatting, and that's amazing. Leonardo's trying to hit the button, and he super chatted last week. Okay, Tammy said it worked for her. Huh. I don't know if there's a size on the... Let me try something here. Let's do this. Let me try this. Okay. Oh, Srinivas, you're so kind. Thank you. Maisha, try it now. I made an adjustment. I don't know if this has anything to do with anything, but feel free. You guys are so kind. The super chats are like, I'm so appreciative. Oh, Tammy used a credit card. Okay. So you can always use a credit card. Maybe there's something wrong with PayPal. Tammy, I'm going to, and I really appreciate your support. We're going to keep the good stuff coming. I'm loving these live streams. This has been a really great experiment, and you guys shocked me last week with the super chats. That makes these live streams so doable. It makes me excited to get better equipment, some webcams. I just want to make the experience better and keep growing. So I'm going to keep learning and figuring this out, but your super chats really support the channel. Okay, Thomas said PayPal's not working. That's super unfortunate. So I think if you're going to want to put in a super chat, it's going to require you to use a credit or debit card, I think, is what it's going to make you do. Thomas says it didn't work when he tried to put in $1,000. I think is that the problem? So everyone who's tried to donate $1,000 to the channel, it didn't work, huh? Jerry, the super chat button is the $ button, right at the bottom, right at the bottom by the emoji sign. I think that's where it is. Tammy, is that right? $ right by the... Oh, PayPal. Why is PayPal not working? That's very unfortunate. You guys are so, so kind. Srinivas, $5. Thank you so much, Tammy. $5. Very kind from the bottom of my heart. You guys are amazing. Yeah, Thomas. Jerry says you can go ahead and mail the check if you want. Feel free to just send the check over, the $1,000 check. That's totally fine with me. That'll help me buy coffee, live stream coffee. Oh, that's great. I love that. Any other questions for me, guys? You guys are so kind. Super chatting all over the place. And with Thomas's $1,000, you know what, Thomas? With that $1,000, I'm going to buy a new setup. I'm going to get a good webcam and a really beautiful microphone, and then you're going to be wowed with the performance of these live streams. Oh, Maisha, I'm so, so sorry. Madhusi and Dick said, I didn't even know you were in here. Popping in $5. Thank you so much. Maisha, don't even worry about it. Don't even think about it. I appreciate the intent. You wanted to super chat. It didn't work. No big deal. You guys are all amazing people. Can I answer any other questions? Leonardo, thank you. Yes, I will stay warm. I'm sure in LA it's sunny and you're probably going to go swimming today, right? Happy trading to everyone. Have an amazing Monday and check back for more videos. If everyone in this room can turn on the bell notifications right now on the YouTube channel, That's going to help you get the content nice and quick. Yeah, Matt Husian, go ahead and watch the recording. It should be up pretty soon. Ron, you're so kind. Ron Solar with a $10 super chat. That is so, so kind. Thank you very much. Gosh, you guys, you're amazing. Yes, this will be a recording on the channel. It'll have the thumbnail. It'll say $100 room. And then know that moving forward, I'm going to probably change it up. Maisha, thank you. She's going to pledge a Lambo next time. Thank you. I think they do that through Super Chat. You just click the Lambo button. Jim Mitchell, you're so, so welcome. I'm glad you were here. Any other questions? Anybody, any last minute thoughts? Anything else you want to grind out here before we call it? We've been at this 90 minutes. Thomas, you have a great day as well, my friend. Happy trading on Monday. You guys are amazing. Absolutely amazing. Jerry's out. All right. Good to see you too, buddy. Have a great day. All right, let's go into Monday. Stick to your plan. Know your strategy. Don't trade live money unless you've back tested. Ron, you're very welcome. I'm glad you found the information useful. And again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for that super chat. You're supporting the channel. You're keeping things moving. I really appreciate it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. To all of you in here, thank you. Tammy, what's the plan for the next live stream? I'm not entirely sure. I don't think there will be one next week. There might be. I tell you, I'll give you multiple days notice. So the next live stream, so turn on the bell notifications so that you get this. I'm going to go ahead and give you 2 to 3 days notice. You'll see it pop up. It'll send you a notification. And then you can click the set reminder button on the thumbnail. And that'll keep you in the loop on when it's going to happen. But I'll set one up. It won't be long. We'll have another one. Maisha, you have a great weekend as well. Hey, Jason. You're late to the party. We want to say hi and thank you for what I do. Thank you. I really appreciate that. You're very, very kind. It's been another great live stream. Jason, turn on your bell notifications so you'll get the next live stream. And you can watch this live stream recorded probably within a half an hour. Srinivas, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, I was glad that we could do the setup and show the bracket orders. I think that's helpful. Just to walk through the mechanics, I wanted to show you what I see every morning, which is just that bracket order set up. I'm watching it. I can move it. It's just it's a simple system. It keeps things pretty clean. So I'm glad you guys were able to get some value out of that. So good to see everybody in the chat today. Yeah, Thomas. Thomas, you're a funny man. Let's see. Anything else we got to go through? I just want to make sure to thank all the super chatters. Let me go back to the top here. Ahmad, $5. Thank you so much for that super chat. Thomas, you're $5. Thank you for that super chat. You guys are so kind. And Tammy, thank you. Srinivas, thank you. Madhusi and Dixit, thank you. Ron, thank you. Everybody have a wonderful day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And like I said, turn on those bell notifications for the next live stream so that you don't miss it. All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. It was so good to see everybody. Glad you got some value out of this. Gather questions, ideas. If you want to send me topics for the next live stream, feel free to email me at takingtrades@gmail.com. And we'll see you next time. Have a good one, everybody.